Hello, my name's Elijah Wells, and today the Razzie nominations came out. If you're wondering what are the Razzies at this point, it's basically the Oscars but the complete opposite, as in it honours the worst Hollywood has to offer. So, let's get into it. For Worst Picture, we have Exorcist Believer, Expendables 4, Meg 2 Trench, Shazam Fury of the Gods, and Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. Again, this is a very strong list for one of the worst films that came out this year. Like, for example, we have Exorcist, a movie that's so bad that even William Friedkin, before he died, said he'd rather die than supervise a remake for a film. So they remade it and he died, and the film turned out to be awful. At least one good thing came out of it. It's Mark Kermode's volcanic rant about this movie, since Exorcist is his all-time favourite film. And we have Expendables 4, which I did a review about it, talking about my awful experience watching this movie, in my opinion. It's basically a less of an Expendables movie and more of Jason Statham's solo ego trip, in my opinion. Like, I feel like this is one of these films that Lionsgate, like, okay, we need another one because we're running a little bit low on cash, and also send out the new Hunger Games movie people seem to have forgot about already. And we have Meg 2 The Trench, which is basically Jaws but for Zoomers. But also what's really interesting is directed by Ben Wheatley, who is known for some very sophisticated horror films and thriller films here in the UK, like High Rise, Kill List, Free Fire, A Field in England. And he did a shark movie like he made some of the most sophisticated thrillers and dramas, like adapting a J.B. Bollard novel, High Rise, and made one of the most sophisticated horror movies in recent memory, Field in England. But now he made a shark sequel, Now we have Shazam Fury of the Gods, which is in a very turbulent year for DC, like I've said more often at this point. Yeah, I know. They had to give it to Shazam? Really? Like, not even Flash? Like, people like tore shreds on Twitter, and Aquaman, that film was sound to die, but Shazam? Really? Well, I suppose I think Screen Junkies did point out the movie did sound like it was written by ChatGPT, so I give him that. There's Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, like down to the 100-acre wood, where public domain cinema will definitely become a trend at this point. Like, guess what? They greenlit Steamboat Jimmy at this point, so I'm not ready to have the horrors of public domain cinema be thrusted on me at this point. But also, I think if it's personal opinion, maybe Expendables 4, but realistically, the winner will be Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, since the reaction seemed to be the most volcanic, in my opinion. And for Worst Actor, we have Russell Crowe, The Pope's Exorcist, Vin Diesel for Fast X or Fast Furious 10, Chris Evans for Ghosted, Jason Statham for Meg 2 The Trench, and John Vaughn for Mercy. Again, for Russell Crowe, coming off not just one but two bad performances of a year in a row, like after Thor, Love and Thunder, which was already a sign that Marvel was losing relevancy. Now Russell Crowe is doing The Pope Exorcist for some reason. Vin Diesel, the possible director of the Fast and Furious films at this point, given his on-set behaviour at the moment, now says it's all about family cars and my overall declining enthusiasm in this franchise. Chris Evans for Ghosted, as in it's a definitely movie solely made for streaming. Like, so it's so AI based and so algorithm tailored, and it's so like administrated, informed, and so put together by a studio exec that I swear it's only made so Hollywood would go on strike a couple of months later. Meg 2 The Trench, no joke needed. John Vaughn from Mercy, like, okay, knowing that you're a strange dad of Angelina Jolie and you've also been a conspiracy theorist and saying that it's been the greatest battle of good and evils because Trump lost. And so he's the type of person you should really ask, what did he really do in January 6th to 2021? So for Worst Actor, I think it may be either Chris Evans Ghosted or Jason Statham for Meg 2, since he was not good in Expendables 4 either. For Worst Actress, we have Ana de Armas for Ghosted, Megan Fox for Johnny and Clyde, Salma Hayek for Magic Mike Last Dance, Jennifer Lopez for Mother, and Helen Mirren for Shazam. Andrea de Armas for Ghosted. Wow, could be back-to-back suckery for her, unfortunately. After Blonde, now we have Ghosted, so go figure. Megan Fox, we'll call this year a comeback in a very loose sense of the word. It's almost like Hollywood risen her up so she could be cut down back to the bottom again. I think she's famous mostly now for her relationship with Machine Gun Kelly, and that's it. But also Salma Hayek for Magic Mike's Last Dance. I think the most interesting thing about the movie is that my sister watched it, and it was clearly written like, and then this happened, and then that happened, and then this happened, and then that happened. Like, the narrative just kind of went like that, according to my sister. So I've never seen the other two films, so why bother? And there's Jennifer Lopez for Mother. Not the Darren Aronofsky movie, nor the Bong Joon-ho movie, so why bother again? And we have Helen Mirren for Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Thank gods for the Barbie narration and a slight resurgence of that late 80s movie she was involved in, The Cook, the Thief, His Wife, Her Lover, because one of the actors who also played Dumbledore, who name completely escaped me, passed away, so maybe she wanted that paycheck, or she's voiced her support for superhero movies, but, well, could be a far worse year for her. For supporting actress, we have Kim Carter for About My Father, Megan Fox for Expendables 4, Bai Kling for Johnny and Clyde, Lucy Liu for Shazam! Fury of the Gods, and Mary Stuart Mattison for Five Nights at Freddy's. Again, Megan Fox in another case of a comeback that's only cut her down even further for some reason. And of course there's Mary Stuart Mattison for Five Nights at Freddy's being like, ooh, social workers are evil, something, I don't know, I haven't seen the movie, I've seen it on its trailers though. Then also Five Nights at Freddy's is a type of horror movie that you go around in your sleepover when you're like 12, 11 years old, and this is your first scary horror movie, like, guys, I got this movie called Five Nights at Freddy's, let's play it. Yeah, so I think for worst actress for the previous category, I've got to mention, I think maybe go for Salma Hayek, no, Megan Fox for Johnny and Clyde, or maybe Andy Mars for Ghosted. For worst supporting actress, Megan Fox for Expendables, of course. Now for worst supporting actor, we have Michael Douglas for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Mel Gibson for Confidential Informant, Bill Murray for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Franco Nero for Pope's Exorcist, and Sylvester Stallone for Expendables 4. Again, for the Ant-Man movies, I think either they've dodged a bullet or caught the bullet for not nominating Jonathan Majors, who unfortunately has a massive domestic abuse trial aimed at him, and he was being kicked out of Marvel because of it. So I'm not sure it was a case of they've dodged a bullet or they're trying to save them some bacon, but I think it's a little bit weird. There's Michael Douglas, who seemed a bit bored in the movie, and Bill Murray in his glorified cameo. There we have Mel Gibson, after being the executive producer for Sound of Freedom. Now let's give it to Confidential Informant for the movie you'll most likely find in your local charity shop. Depending if there's any stores at this point that's doing physical media, but support physical media. And we have Pope's Exorcist, and we have Expendables 4, Sylvester Stallone, as in a role where he clearly was only in the movie for a glorified paycheck. So for worst supporting actor, in my opinion, is maybe Sylvester Stallone for Expendables 4, since that movie, his performance reeks, I'm only in it for a paycheck. Now we go to the category called Worst Screen Couple. We have any two merciless mercenaries for Expendables 4, any two money-grabbing investors who donated $400 million for remake rewrites for The Exorcist Believer. There's Anders Amherst and Chris Evans for Ghosted, who flocked screen chemistry, Channing Tatum and Salma Hayek for Magic Mike Last Dance, and Piglet and Pooh as bloodthirsty slasher killers for some unknown reason for Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Again, this is where I feel like the jokes kind of write itself, and the people who write this definitely need a paycheck. Like, Expendables 4, as in, it's basically any of them for a price of 2. Like, you want this one, that one, £2. This one, that one, £2. This one, that one, or that random extra, £2. That one, you know, you can't get it already. And for Excess Believer, as in the two money-grabbing investors who donated for $400 million for a remake rights, basically $400 million is a lot of money to, either to buy something or to waste it on something. Like, you know, you could do on Brexit. You know, you could do $400 million just to bribe Clarence Thomas or something. But who knows, $400 million seems to be a very hefty amount. Who knows, probably a remake rights for a movie that's already died one film in, and its director just quit just one film afterwards. So, already a very good sign. $400 million down the toilet. There's Ana de Armas for Chris Evans. Well, boring. Channing Tatum and Salma Hayek. Well, we knew Channing Tatum could probably fall further down than Jupiter Ascending at this point. There's Piglet and Pooh as serial killers. Like, I think like at this point you probably scroll down on YouTube as in famous child actors whose lives got ruined, and I think Winnie the Pooh and Piglet would probably come up with this if you only factor this into the context of the wider lore of Winnie the Pooh. But I think I kind of want to see it go to The Exorcist, the two money-grabbing investors. I thought it would be a good idea to waste $400 million on this, when you could, I don't know, re-release Strange World, the Disney flop, but use even more AI. But realistically, it will go to Pooh and Piglet for Blood and Honey. And we have worst prequel, remake, ripoff, and sequel. We have Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania, Excess Believer, Expendables 4, Indiana Jones, Dial of Dynasty, and we have Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Okay, I'm going to die on this hill. I want to say this, that Indiana Jones, Dial of Dynasty was a decent movie. Yes, I know it was better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, but wasn't as great as the original trilogy, but I'm going to die on this hill saying that it was a decent film. So I'm leaving it at that. But I think if it's going to be sequels that let me down the most, it's definitely going to go to Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania. I think I'm realistically wanting it to win, but most likely it's going to go to like either Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey as a remake of a public domain novel at this point, or Expendables 4 as in you probably could sink down further down than Expendables 3 being PG-13 slob to something that AI made. Now we go over to our last categories. We have worst director. We have Reese Waterfield for Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, David Gordon Green for Excess Believer, Python Reed for Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania, Scott Vaughn for Expendables 4, and Ben Wheatley for Meg 2: The Trench. Again, I feel a little bit more sad, particularly for David Gordon Green, who came off strong for something like the first Halloween film of the modern trilogy, then fell apart in like the last two films, and for The Exorcist he pretty much was dead on arrival at this point, and so much so he was apparently quit or was fired from the sequel Excess Believer, which is always never a good sign of a very healthy production. And we have Ben Wheatley, who, like I just said earlier, started off with some very sophisticated films like Field of England, High Rise, Kill List, or Free Fire or something, but now he does a movie about a shark with Jason Statham. Like, your career trajectory must have been very unrewarding at this point, but I think if we're talking about unrewarding rewards, I think maybe Reese Waterfield may have to take the bait for this one for worst director. Now for worst screenplay, as in the category of where the AI clearly took over from screenwriting duties, or that the writers didn't put much effort into it, or the reasons why the writers were striking last year. We have The Exorcist Believer, Expendables 4, Indiana Jones: The Dial Dynasty, Shazam! Fury of the Gods, and Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Again, Expendables 4 clearly sounded like it was written by AI. Indiana Jones, I thought it was a decent enough film, so why bother, I guess. And Shazam! Fury of the Gods, I think I'm just leaving it up to Screen Junkie, saying it sounded like it was written by AI, but who knows. But I think the award for worst screenplay I want to see Expendables win for that one, but realistically, it's going to go to Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. And also, there's a Redeemer Award, like the actor that does some horrible actor or actress that did some horrible work in the past, but finally found some redemption. Hallelujah! I wanted to go to Robert Downey Jr., who was farted on from a dragon from Doolittle, and now plays General Shaws from Oppenheimer. So, I think when it comes to career progression, I think Robert Downey Jr. definitely shined this year as the biggest career turnaround. So, from being farted on from a dragon to basically confronting Oppenheimer about how ethical his work is, I want to applaud Robert Downey Jr. for his work. So, what do you think of the Razzie Awards this year? Let me know in the comments below, subscribe to my channel, like this video, follow me on Twitter and Instagram and Letterboxd, and this is Elijah Wells, and bye!